Good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Mr. Anil.
Good evening, sir. Good evening.
Able to hear me?
Yes, I am able to hear you. Good evening to all of you.
Good evening, yeah. We'll start in a few minutes.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. MCFSL has great pleasure in welcoming you all to this webinar. We are conducting webinars on various topics on a regular basis and covering various aspects related to markets, be it technical analysis, fundamental analysis, or say related to specific industries. Recently, we had one about sugar industry. Today, we are going to cover cement industry. See, we are living in an era of digitalization. The way we do things has changed. The way we work has changed. It is work from home, unheard of a couple of years ago. The way we work has undergone a tremendous change. The way we eat has undergone a big change. We order online. Zomato IPO is on. It is oversubscribed more than 36 times as of now. End of day, the figures may go up further. So things are changing. A brand which doesn't own a restaurant or even a kitchen is going to be valued at 60,000 crores plus. Very different times indeed. The way we communicate has undergone a change. It's mostly using digital devices. The way our children learn has undergone a big change. It is online classes. So everything is changing from conventional to digital. So in this era of even the way we conduct meetings has changed. It is not a seminar, it is a webinar, right? So everything undergoing a change. If this is going to be only a digital economy, then what is the role for a old economy? What is your brick and mortar economy going to do? What sort of role they are going to play, and how they are going to change the way they are going to work? and how it is affecting them. What are the changes they are planning to keep in tune with the times? To discuss about all that, we have a very eminent person. We have Mr. Anil Kumar Pillai from Ramco Cements, General Manager of Technical Services. Very welcome, sir. We have pleasure in inviting you to this webinar. So we are looking for words of wisdom, your vast experience in this field that is going to give us a lot of insights to all the people who are associated with us. As a matter of brief introduction about ourselves, Madras Stock Exchange is one of the pioneering stock exchanges from South India. For a period of time, due to regulatory reasons, we became a stockbroking firm, MSC Financial Services, an offshoot of Madras Stock Exchange. And we are serving a huge thousands of people as our clients spread over the country. That's a brief about Madras Stock Exchange, MSC Financial Services. So I would like request our compliance officer, Mr. M.V. Swaminath, to introduce the guest. Mr. M.V. Swaminath, please.
Good evening to you all. I am very glad to share a brief profile about our today's speaker, Mr. Anil Kumar Pillai. Mr. Anil Kumar Pillai is now currently the General Manager, Technical Services, working with the Ramco Cements Limited. And as far as the academics are concerned, he is a civil engineer from BITS Pilani, and he has an MBA from SP Jain Institute of Management, and he's also got an MBA from Operations Management from IGNO. He is a member of the Institution of Engineers, and he is also a life member of the Indian Management Association. He has a career which spans about 3 decades in the fields of construction, cement industry, and management teaching, interestingly. He is associated with Ramco Cements from 2008 onwards, and he has attended many conferences. He was a keynote speaker in many conferences, seminars, and workshops, and he has presented papers to various institutions and universities. Few of which include Kumamoto University of Japan and University of Wollongong in Dubai. Previously, he was associated with L&T Cement, SCMS Kochi, Amrita Vishwavidyapeetham, and he is also an alternate member representing Ramco Cements Limited in the committees of Bureau of Indian Standards, in Cement and Concrete Sectional Committee, and Cement Additives Subcommittee. So we are very glad to have you, sir, with us today evening, and we welcome you to this webinar, and the floor is open to you now. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Swaminathan, Mr. Sundar, and the team from MSC Financial Services Limited. In fact, I'm also excited to be a part of this event to discuss with you. In fact, it is very interesting to look at the industry itself. So let me just share the screen, and thank you for the opportunity that is given to me to be a part of this one, to be a part of this discussion. Just give me a couple of minutes to just share this. Is the screen visible?
Yeah, it's visible.
I'll just share the presentation. I hope you are able to see this. Okay. Now, Indian cement industry, as all of you know, it's not a new industry. It has been there for many years. It has undergone many changes. Many interesting things have also happened in the industry. I'm sure that I'm sure that most of the participants would be interested to know about the industry, because you can make your own analysis. I will just try to give as much as possible a feel of the industry. rather than talking about the statistics which is available, of course, in the Google, and also the individual performance of the companies, which is again available in the individual website. So I'll try to limit myself to give you an overview of the industry so that you can make your own interpretations, make your own conclusions based on your own reading. So just a feel of the industry. As all of you know, the interesting part is that whenever we want to analyze an industry, there are so many frameworks that are available. Now let us taking Michael Porter's 5 force framework. If we apply to the cement industry itself, as far as substitutes is concerned, cement, as all of us know, it's a hygroscopic powder which is being used in construction, various kinds of construction. As far as substitutes is concerned, it is very limited because there are alternative materials, but it cannot be manufactured on a large scale, just as cement is being manufactured. That is one thing. Second thing is there are, like, say, for example, for road construction also cement can be used, and many roads are also being constructed using cement concrete. There is bitumen, which again is coming as far as road construction is concerned. So as far as substitutes is concerned, the threat of substitute is very much limited as far as cement as a product is concerned. Bargaining power of suppliers, yes, our suppliers, if suppose we look at cement industry and then it's a government. In fact, if you look at, say, for example, the transportation, and another thing is that power, coal, all those things, we have limited bargaining power because it all comes from the government and a kind of established this thing. So as far as the bargaining power is concerned, it is, say, for example, not this thing. So you will find that there is this thing on that. Threat of new entrants. Cement industry being a highly capital intensive industry, there is a lot of capital that is there. In fact, it has to be invested for starting a cement plant itself. So any new entrant which is coming into the industry will have to face a big hurdle because being a capital intensive, and also any cement, this thing, as all of us know, there is a big distribution network, and the distribution network is being formulated over a period of time. It takes time to establish a good distribution network. So the distribution network, a highly efficient distribution network, can also be a kind of a barrier for new entrants. As far as buyers is concerned, we know that the cement industry, we have both the retail buyers as well as big projects. So whenever the retail buyers are there, the kind of bargaining power, you can see that it all depends on whether the cement is being sold to the retailers or big projects. So that is one thing. Interfirm rivalry, yes, there are a number of companies which are there in the Indian cement industry. There is a lot of competition that is there. So this is how the industry will look at from a bird's eye view, like, say, for example, in terms of all these kind of things. Now, as far as the industry is concerned, yes, there is a lot of good things that is going to come. It has always been there. Recently, you will find that the government's high level of spending as far as the infrastructure is concerned, it is and the increasing number of residential and commercial construction activities that is going on, and that is planned to come. That will, of course, give a kind of boost to the industry. The robust demand, 100 smart cities which are being planned, affordable housing projects to give further stimulus to the cement consuming places, and continuous demand from metro projects and railway projects is there. So demand is there, robust demand is expected. Of course, there are some hurdles in between, as all of us know, in between the COVID pandemic and some unexpected calamities like this can put a kind of dent. But otherwise, if you look at a long-term this thing, you will find that there is a robust demand as far as the cement is concerned. And there has been a number of announcements in various states as far as infrastructure projects is concerned. When we look at infrastructure projects, we are talking about flyovers, we are talking about bridges, we are talking about cement concrete roads, we are talking about huge outlay of such kind of projects which are there in various states. And of course, all of us know in the Union Budget 2021-22 also, there are number of allocations has been made, because cement can only be utilized in infrastructure, housing, and all those kind of things. And there has been a number of announcements. So the long-term potential is very positive. And Indian cement companies are also amongst the world's greenest cement manufacturers. There has been a number of initiatives that has been taking place in this area. And in the recent this thing, as all of us know, as was pointed out rightly, there is number of changes that is taking place, and due to the changes, there is number of different techniques that are being adopted. Say, for example, the behavior has changed. Now we are many of us start working from homes, so location is not a criteria. So that's why tier 2, tier 3 cities, number of affordable housing, there is going to be a big demand as far as the investment is concerned. So if you look at all this from the demand side, it looks very positive. Now, let me just give an overview of the global cement industry. When you look at the world as a cement industry, you'll find that 6,200 million tons, almost 6.2 billion tons, and this is as per 2019 figures. Employees, it's a big employment, this thing, because our customer, the construction itself is a big employment generator. So you'll find that the global cement industry is huge, out of which the Chinese cement industry is almost having a capacity of 3,330 million tons, almost 60% of the global production capacity. Capacity is there, but then how to increase the quality and efficiency, that is always at the main this thing. So that is what the global cement industry is all about. Coming to the Indian cement industry, all of us know, in fact, in many of the industries, this is the common characteristics you would have seen, that India is second largest producer of most of the commodities next to any other country. Like, say, for example, in this case, next to China. And there is a lot of difference. So India's estimated capacity is close to around 540 million tons. Whereas Chinese cement industry is around 3,330 million tons. There is a lot of gap. So this gap itself shows that there is a lot of scope. Even if you look at the per capita cement consumption in the country, you will find that it is close to around 200 to 225 kg per capita consumption, as against the world average of around 400 to 500. Around 500 is what they estimate per capita consumption. So that itself gives so much headroom. There is a lot of infrastructure projects, lot of development that has to take place. So that itself shows that there is a lot of scope as far as the cement is concerned. The country has 105 major cement companies operating around 279 modern cement plants. Of course, when you look at modern cement plants, it comprises about the integrated plant, grinding units, and all those things. So there, as I was telling, in terms of technology, energy efficiency, this is one thing that I do not know many of us know about it. As far as cement manufacturing is concerned, we are in the forefront as a country. As far as technology, we are in the forefront, because the kind of technology that we have been able to get from across the world is a lot of latest technology we have been able to get into the country. Captive power generating capacity is there, because without own generating capacity, it is very difficult to run the cement plant. So you will find that along with cement plant, you need to have your own power generation. Highly competitive industry, very capital intensive, as I was mentioning. The technology has changed from wet process to dry process. Earlier it was wet process kind of manufacturing, now it is dry process. And as all of us know, the location and the concentration of cement manufacturing is concerned, it is there in certain places, but it has to be supplied to various other places. So that is where you will find freight, supply chain management plays a critical role. And it has been fragmented. And that's why you will find that in many of the cement you will find that there are a combination of national as well as the regional players, which is there. So it has been fragmented as far as the industry is concerned. Just to give you an overview of how the cement capacity is concentrated, you will find that Rajasthan leads in that. And this happens because of the concentration of limestone. When you look at the cement industry itself, you will find that wherever there is a limestone deposit, that is where the cement plants are being set up. So Rajasthan, with a close estimated of 72 million tons per annum, Andhra Pradesh 63 million tons, Karnataka 47, Maharashtra 41. So that is the kind of figures that you will look at it. You will find that if you take, if you divide into south, north, east, west, you will find that south is having the maximum capacity, close to around 130 million tons per annum. So that is the kind of capacity that is there as far as the south part of it is concerned. So you will find that this kind of fragmentation is there, but of course cement has to be supplied to the entire country. But you will find that the cement manufacturing locations are concentrated in very few places within the state itself. So this is how the capacity is distributed across the states. and it is more than 105 years old. 1914, as far as 2019 is concerned, it completes 105 years, 25 years younger than the Chinese cement industry, which is 130 years old. And it has gone through right from price control to partial decontrol, and then you will find that it is complete, completely free of that. Liberalization has happened, due to which there are a number of companies which are operating in the Indian cement industry. It has opened up many avenues. So those who were there in the cement industry before the liberalization, many of the companies, you will find that many of them participated in the development of the nation as such, before liberalization, you will find. Because the thing is that at that point of time, there was not much development that could take place. But once liberalization happened, you will find that the capacity has also increased manifold, and a number of things have started happening. Just to give an overview of how the cement is manufactured, because it is very interesting to know, because as many of you who would be associated with cement industry, you may be interested to know how the cement is manufactured. Just a broad overview. As I was telling, it has to be near the limestone, because limestone happens to be the major ingredient. When you look at cement in a bag, it has undergone so many processes.
Mr. Anil Kumar, one small request.
Yes.
Can you stop sharing and then share again?
Fine, I will do that.
Just stop sharing for a minute and
okay.
Share it one more. Yeah.
You're not able to see that, is it?
No, not like that. Just stop sharing and then again.
Stop sharing and then share, is it? Should I stop sharing?
Yes, please. Stop sharing.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. Now
I've stopped the sharing.
Yeah. Now you can share it, please.
Fine. Is it okay?
Yeah. Once. We are
able to look.
Yeah. We are ready to see the screen. Once again.
You're ready to see the screen?
Yes.
I'll do it once more. I'll share the screen. I think the icon is not working.
One second.
Now?
No, not yet. Yeah. Now
you're able to see that?
Yeah. Please. Yeah, you can go ahead, please.
Now coming to the cement manufacturing process, just to give you an overall view of that, you would wonder that the cement that is there, the cement in the bag, it has undergone so much process, right from limestone. It has come from the limestone quarry, and then what has happened is that it has to be crushed into smaller pieces. And then there are other materials that are being used, like say, for example, you would be having something which is rich in silica, something like say, for example, there will be calcareous material as well as argillaceous material, what we call it. So that has to be crushed, and then it has to undergo a process. It has to go to the crusher, both primary and secondary crusher is there. Then it has to be, heated to a temperature of, say, for example, 1400 degree to 1500 degree centigrade. Now, before it goes to the kiln, what happens is that it undergoes, it has to go through the preheater. Now, before this, you will find that from the crusher, it is broken into small pieces. It has to go to the proportioning equipment. Now, this proportioning equipment, what happens is that it has to make it homogeneous. The raw materials which are there, it has to be homogeneous so that you get a consistent quality cement. It is being ground, and then it goes to the preheater. As the word indicates, before it goes to the kiln, it has to be heated before. Preheater means heated before, because you may not be able to give 1400 or 1500 degree centigrade temperature at a time. So it is being heated initially to 900 degree centigrade, preheater. Then it goes to the kiln, 1400 to 1500 degree centigrade. Once it comes out, it is being cooled. And that is where you get this material, what we call clinker. You might have heard, those who are associated with the cement industry, you would have heard about the word clinker. Now, this clinker is nothing but which is coming out of the cooler. which has been manufacturing using limestone as the major raw material. And when this clinker comes out, it is being ground with blending materials. Now again, you will find that there is a grinding mill. This clinker along with gypsum, along with fly ash or slag is being ground. That is how you get the blended cement. And then it is being stored in silos in the cement plant. And then it is being dispatched to the respective customers. This is how the overview of the cement manufacturing process is all about. So it is interesting to note that right from limestone quarry till packing, if everything is in one place, we call it as the integrated cement plant. And supposing if we take a part of the manufacturing process, like say for example from clinker till packing to a separate location, we call it as a grinding unit. So a part of the process is being shifted to a different place. And then if you have only the packing, say for example, if cement is transported in a bulker or something like that, and then it goes to the packing unit, then you have a packing unit. So cement industry, you will find that there is a combination of integrated cement plant, grinding units, and packing units. So all this is there, a combination of all this, so that it helps in the supply of cement to the market consuming areas. Just a brief overview of the technology that is there at every stage, right from mining till packing. You will find that a lot of technology has come in over the years, because right from before liberalization and after liberalization, if you compare, number of changes have taken place. Mining and materials handling. Say for example, if you mine limestone, nowadays we have online analyzer. The quality of limestone can be analyzed online. Their quality can be analyzed online. You don't have to wait for the results to come from a laboratory. When we talk about online analysis, online testing, it goes to the crushing, because it is very important to understand the quality of raw materials. Otherwise, you will not be able to do the process correctly. That's the idea of having this online analyzer and all that. Then conveyor of limestone. Limestone goes along with other ingredients, goes to the grinding. Like say for example, VRMs, vertical roller mill, roller plus ball mill, and these are the different type of mills that are available with different cement plants. It goes to the pyro processing, the preheater, as you just saw in the flowchart earlier. And even there also, we have different kind of technology to reduce this SO2 emissions, NOx emissions, and all that. Blending and storage, the continuous homogenization, continuous blending, multi-chamber silos are there. Then it goes to the kiln. So a lot of technology is there in every stage. Packing and dispatch is very important. Packing and dispatch of cement. Nowadays, you will find that there are rotary packers, the packers which are rotating by this thing. So you don't have much manual this thing that is there. So all that takes place, and the process control, of course, right from mining till packing, the entire process is controlled from a central control room. So that's the kind of technology that you would be looking at that. So this is what I was just talking about, just to give you this would be clear to all of us, because integrated cement plant, you will find that both clinkerization and grinding process both takes place. Say for example, the clinker and the grinding is taking place at the same place. That is where the integrated cement plant is all about. Grinding unit can be near the cement consuming place, say for example the market, and if you have the grinding unit near the market as well as near the blending material place, it is ideal to have a grinding unit. Packing unit is also there, so that you can supply cement from a place which is nearer to the customer. So it's all about whether the plant can be near to the raw material source or can it be near to the market. So depending on that, you can have a combination of all these three, integrated plant, grinding unit, and packing unit. So this is how it takes place. There are customers who would like to have it in bags. It can be either small. Of course, jumbo bags are not used in our country. That of course we have the 50 kg bags. Then it goes either through the road or rail or barge in very few places. That is by sea or by waterways. So you have the kind of transportation that is taking place like this, and then you find that it is being unloaded through the roadways, or it can go to the store and it can go to the various warehouses that are there. And there is another this thing which goes by bulk. You would have seen this bulkers which is going to the major projects and all that. And various kinds of bulkers are there. We have the road bulkers, and of course, liner containers are not that much. Of course, the bulkers are there, which is going directly to the silo of the customer. So any customer who is having a silo would be able to take cement in bulk. And this bulk can either be, for exporting also it becomes easy through port to nearby countries and all that. So either cement can be transported by bulk or by through bags and all that. So this is the various kinds of this thing that is available. So you would see that a customer who is having all this setup of silo, say for example, there are some customers, major project customers who are having captive ready-mix concrete unit. So they would be having these cement silos, and they can store the cement in the silo and then later on use them. So that is how it is. Of course, the distribution channel, we have the direct, the retail and the wholesale concept, which is being borrowed from other, which is also there in other industries also, you would have seen. Either you can directly give to the customer, in which case it would be a large project, huge project, where we do that. And for the convenience of the customer, we can either go to through the retailer or the wholesaler concept would be there. This is the kind of various distribution channel that is there. So the cement can reach for the convenience of the customer near to his place. So that is the idea. So whenever he needs, say for example, the quantity of bags, whatever he needs can be taken. So that is why you will find that there are different kind of channels that is there. Different companies have different kind of strategies as far as this concept. Economies of scale works. Many of them would like to go through the volume-based strategy, wherein one wants to sell in huge quantities. That is one strategy that can be adopted. Another thing is that the premium pricing. So this is one development that is taking place in the Indian cement industry. Many of us have this concept that cement is a commodity. Yes, cement has been a commodity, but slowly you will find that the transformation is taking place from commodity to a brand. You will find that the kind of services that is being given, that is one thing. Second thing is that there is also the qualitative change that is taking place in the cement itself. You have the Bureau of Indian Standards, which regulates the quality of cement, but then each manufacturer is having a liberty of maintaining the quality as to how much above the minimum standards you can maintain. And then one can also customize cement based on the customer's requirement. So the customization can also take place. So the transformation of cement from commodity to brand is already taking place. So that is one of the key development that you will find as far as the Indian cement industry is concerned. Types of cement, you have as given by the Bureau of Indian Standards, you have the ordinary Portland cement. Now when we talk about the ordinary Portland cement 43 and 53 grade, we are talking about clinker plus gypsum. You would have seen in the cement manufacturing process, you would have seen clinker, which is basically coming from the limestone and other ingredients, which is being heated and cooled. That is what ordinary Portland cement is all about. 43 and 53 represents the compressive strength. Because all the structural members that is being cast is based on the compressive strength. So 43 indicates the 28-day compressive strength of cement mortar has to be 43 MPa. 53 grade means 53 MPa. Then you have the Portland pozzolana cement, wherein the pozzolanic material like fly ash B is being used. So you will find that Portland pozzolana cement will be a combination of clinker, gypsum and fly ash. Now this fly ash comes from the thermal power stations. Now there are two ways of looking at the fly ash. One is we are utilizing it from an environmental perspective, and the second is it also adds to the quality of the cement in terms of technically speaking, for an engineer, he always needs a cement with low heat of hydration. It has to be more durable. Say for example, if you take 43 and 53 grade, it will be having a higher heat of hydration, whereas in case of PPC, it would be having a lower heat of hydration. So that is the difference when we add the blending material. Now we have the slag cement. Slag is a material which is coming from the steel plant. It's a byproduct of the steel plant, which is again being ground with clinker plus slag plus gypsum. So that is how you get Portland slag cement. Composite cement is another cement which is there in the Bureau of Indian Standard. Few manufacturers also manufacturing it. Composite cement will have both fly ash as well as slag. Rapid hardening Portland cement is a special type of cement for precast works. You would have seen this hollow blocks, solid blocks, precast panels. Precast in the sense not cast at site, first cast elsewhere and then being transported to the site. Like as it can be any member, it can be a block. So for that, rapid hardening Portland cement is there. Sulfate resisting Portland cement is there, which is being used in areas where there is a high degree of sulfates. So as you can see, cement is not a commodity. Cement is an engineered product. It can be the Bureau of Indian Standards. This types of cement which I am showing you is as per the Bureau of Indian Standards itself. They have separate codes for that, IS code. So cement quality is regulated in our country. Each cement manufacturer will have to follow the minimum specification that is outlined in the code. And it is very dynamic in the sense that, this inspection and all those things is happening. And so the thing is that the minimum quality of cement has to be maintained, whichever quality of cement the manufacturer wishes to manufacture. Customers, you'll find variety of customers. You have the owners who are buying cement. You have the contractors, you have the masons, engineers who are influencing. Infrastructure institutions, like say, for example, major companies, construction companies are there. Government organizations are there, like PWD, CPWD, the army units and all that. So ready-mix concrete plant, you would have seen this concrete which is coming out from ready-mix and all that. Major ready-mix players are there. Asbestos manufacturing units are there. Precast units are there, because now you would have seen that there is a site mixed concrete. You can make concrete at site, or you can order for concrete, which is coming from a ready-mix concrete plant. If you are not happy with either, you can ask a precast manufacturer, like which is happening in other countries, like precast panels can be transported to the site and then assembled. So this is the kind of different ways of using cement. So you will find that the customers' requirements are different, their applications are different, and different influences play a vital role. So any cement company will have to see that the requirement of all these players are satisfied, and that is how you can make a win-win situation. Now, concrete, site mixed or ready mixed concrete, it is based on the size of the project, the kind of preparedness that is there. Like say, for example, if you're ordering for a ready mixed concrete, the ready mixed concrete has to be used on the shuttering. The shuttering has to be made in such a way that it is strong enough to take the ready mixed concrete, because the ready mixed concrete would be supplied and at a time, and it has to bear that load. Whereas in site mixed concrete, what happens? Depending on the speed of the concreting, the labor starts keeping it over a period of time, and there is no impact load. So there is a difference in preparedness when you're using concrete for site or ready mix. Non-structural works, like say, for example, plastering or brick mortar are there. Precast works as a pre-stressed works is there, wherein you rather than using a reinforcement bar, you use a reinforcement cable and then you cast the concrete over it. So highly, you'll find that the kind of works that is taking place in our country is lot of development has taken place as far as concrete is concerned. Say, about 20 years back, you would not have heard of, say, self-compacting concrete, a concrete which can be transported to heights, like say, for example, what was being adopted in Burj Khalifa. If you have to make a multi-storied building, you have to transport concrete like water without losing its quality. So you have the self-compacting concrete, a concrete which can compact by itself. So this is how, various applications you can see. Here, this photograph, you will find the concrete is flowable. It doesn't separate. This is an example of a precast manufacturer where he makes a blocks. Now, instead of bricks, you can use blocks. You make hollow blocks, or you can have the precast panels also. And this is the infrastructure project. So when you look at the customer's perspective, you will find that the customer's requirements are entirely different. So rather than giving cement as cement, it is better to understand the customer requirement, and then we need to recommend the type of cement that is suitable for him. Rather than saying that I only manufacture Portland Pozzolana cement, so all the customers must only use Portland Pozzolana cement. It doesn't work that way. Why? Because many of these infrastructure projects would be blending material at site. So they would want, say, for example, a cement like OPC 53, and they would be blending the fly ash at site. But whereas for a retail customer, he may not have the facilities for blending. So it is better for him to use a blended cement at site because of various qualitative advantages that is getting in terms of durability or low heat of hydrogen and things like that. The challenges that the cement industry would face in the near future, of course, we have the availability of river sand. River sand mining is a kind of challenge, so you have the alternative to that. The manufactured sand is available. Rising input cost for the cement manufacturing company itself, which is not in the hands. You will find power cost or fuel cost, or say, for example, petcoke cost, coal cost, all that. There is a rising input cost. Regulatory changes can happen at any moment of time. Any unexpected change in global industry scenario or the local industry scenario itself. Say, for example, cement industry is also dependent on other industries, like say real estate, construction. If other industries are also doing well, the cement industry will also do well. The kind of correlation is also there. But then any unexpected change, like say, for example, this pandemic has taken all of us by surprise. We have been able to adapt to that. All of us have been able to adapt. Even cement industry has gone in a big way towards digitization. In fact, the entire manufacturing process, right from mining till packing, is digitized. Our marketing operations, many of the companies, you'll find that many of the things is through digital. We have been able to operate from home, like IT companies, in terms of coordination is concerned. So a lot of things have happened, and cement industry has also been able to change with the changes that is there. Supply chain management and logistics is critical because cement is manufactured at one place, it has to be transported to another place. So where is the consuming areas, how it is being managed, it all defines the efficiency of a company. The better the supply chain management, the better the logistics planning that is being done, it all defines that. So again, that is a challenge because many a times you will find that cement has to be transported by rail transport, and that is not a priority sometimes, because many other food products are being given top priority. After that only comes cement. So in spite of these challenges, you will find that the cement industry has been able to do very well. Initiatives taken by the Indian cement industry, as I was telling, the industry has been able to use fly ash and slag. And the quality of cement that is coming out has been phenomenal. In fact, the usage of blended cement is not new to our country. It has been used across the world. We have been a little bit late in adopting the blended cement, but it has been used across the world globally for various qualitative benefits that they have been getting, as well as the environmental latest technology, as I was telling, right from mining to this thing. And adoption of latest technology will also help us in making environmental friendly. That is very important because you use the latest technology wherein you are able to reduce the emissions, wherein you are able to control the particle size distribution of cement, through various, say for example, vertical roller mill or ball mill. Whatever technology is being taken place, if you are able to adopt that technology, I think both from environmental as well as qualitative viewpoint, it makes a lot of difference. And the cement industry has been able to transform cement from a commodity to brand. You will find that many of us would want our customer to make a good quality concrete, a good house construction. So whatever kind of services that needs to be given to the end customer is being given. Say for example, in terms of technical services, there is a group of civil engineers who go to the customer, give them tips on how to make good quality concrete. So a service angle, how the customer, how one can partner with the customer. Number of initiatives have been taking place. Reduced emissions, enhanced quality initiatives. So these are some of the initiatives that has been taken. So that is what, like any other industry, all of us are well aware of ESG. The environmental, the social, the governance, which also the cement industry has been able to take care. Cement has been considered to be one of the environmental polluting product, but then thing is that lot of initiatives have taken place. The usage of blending material, reducing emissions, rainwater harvesting, alternate sources of power. Like many of the cement, if you look at the cement industry, you will find that there is a captive source of power, and at the same time there is renewable energy. Like say for example, wind energy. power is being generated through wind power as well. So alternate sources of power. So all this goes towards taking care of the environment, and how to reduce the carbon footprint is one of the basic challenges. The corporate social responsibility activities which is taking place, like say for example, wherever the cement plant is there, how to adopt the village, help the society in terms of pandemic and calamities. The industry has come forefront. You would have seen in various publications and various this thing how they are, even during the pandemic also, in terms of helping the even migrant laborers in whatever way the industry can do. They have come forward. Of course, the contribution to the government exchequer, as all of us is aware, in terms of the various kind of this thing that is being given to the government. So the results must not be evaluated only in numbers or profitability. As a core sector of the economy, the Indian cement industry has been able to contribute. So that's a brief about the cement industry as such. I'm sure that I've got a fairly good idea about the industry, and I'm sure that many of you would be able to analyze the industry, by looking at how a cement is being manufactured, what are the critical elements that goes into, transporting cement, what figures we should look at whenever we are looking at a company for that matter, and you can make your own conclusions based on the industry itself. So thank you so much for, I think I have exactly taken 45 minutes, I believe. That is the time that was given to me. I have not overshot the time. So the floor is open for any kind of queries, and I will try my best to answer whichever I can. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Anil. It was a wonderful presentation. Lot of insights into the way the industry is working and all that. Before throwing the floor open to others, in fact, I had lined up a couple of questions about the impact on environment, but you have already answered the steps you have taken, by adopting technology, by reducing emission, etc. So that is covered already in the presentation itself. Of course, ESG is a concept that is emerging in a big way across the world.
True.
So companies will be more, looking more into satisfying the parameters as required by the ESG to qualify for as an investment in under various portfolios. So, of course, I'm happy to hear from you that the industry is already taking steps to ensure that their effect, on impact on environment, being environment friendly and all that. That's fantastic. Very.
I think we have lost signal.
Seeing in the infrastructure sector, what do you feel? Are we really growing? Whether
I was not able to hear your this thing. There was a signal. We lost signal.
I'll see. Just give us some idea about the outlook, about the growth in the infrastructure sector that is happening. Are we really growing? Do you see big things happening? The way our the facilities are coming up, the way our quality of life is going to change. Are big projects coming? Is the infrastructure growing? Your thoughts, please.
Yeah, as you can see, we all know that our country is a developing country, and there is a lot of scope for infrastructure projects. We have not reached the level to which the developed countries have already grown. So there is a lot of scope, lot of headroom for that. One thing is a lot of announcement, as I was telling, smart cities. Smart cities, of course, lot of discussions have taken place, and lot of development is going to take place, I'm sure. But because of the pandemic, there could be some hurdles, I believe. But then you will find that even the cement concrete road, that is one upcoming this thing, because when you compare a bitumen road with cement concrete road happens to be one where you will not find potholes, if you want to have a very good road, in many of the places they have gone in for cement concrete road. Of course, the only disadvantage is that if you want to dig a cement concrete road, it will be very difficult. If you want to demolish, like say for example, you will have to plan your cables or electrical this thing and all that beforehand. But as a durable, this thing, cement concrete road is very good. So cement concrete road is going to play a vital role because of the national highway projects and all that. So you will find that there is a lot of scope as far as the usage of cement in cement concrete road is concerned. And bridges, flyovers will be part of the national highway. It has to happen. And number of dams, wherein again you need cement. That is so. Infrastructure project. What I feel is that it is going to be very good. The scope for growth is going to be very high. As the country is going to develop, there is going to be a lot of headroom, and it is definitely going to create a lot of impact. And the way we live also, the kind of changes that has taken place. Earlier it was in terms of rural demand or urban demand. I think you will find that there is a lot of demand of cement that is going to take place in both the areas. And tier 2, tier 3 cities, you will find that there is a lot of scope for development. There are many cities where it is underdeveloped kind of thing. So I think infrastructure projects and the kind of affordable housing for that matter. Many of our the majority of the population is going in for affordable housing, and they want that. So a lot of initiative is being taken by the government to see how affordable housing can be made really affordable. And that is where I think cement will play a vital role. So all this put together, the outlook is very bright, very optimistic.
Thank you. So, nice to hear that, sir. Very nice to hear. Now, the floor is open for others to ask the question. Those who are connected through Zoom, you can either raise your hand, pose the question yourself, or give it through the chat also. And those who are connected through YouTube also, you can give your questions through the chat. The floor is open, please. You can raise a hand or unmute yourself and then ask the question. Yeah.
There's one question which I have come. Is it
politically sensitive?
No problem.
Hot topic in Tamil Nadu. Right, sir. You can take that.
The thing is that pricing, if you see, it is very dynamic. It's all based on demand, supply, and various other parameters. So very sensitive this thing. But the thing is that unlike any other product for that matter, cement is it keeps changing from region to region because of various parameters, and during different periods of time. You will find that the cement consumption also changes with season. Like say, for example, during March, you will find that the cement demand is high, and during monsoon it is low. And as a capital intensive industry, the gestation period of the cement plant is too long. The thing is that you invest a huge amount of money to have, say, for example, 1 million ton per annum capacity itself, and over a period of time. So there are a lot of factors that is playing into that. So if you take all this into account, I think, the thing is that cement prices keeps changing. That is, as you would have seen. And wherever required, I think it is, it's a very dicey thing, that is happening, in the sense that you will find that number of variables are there. It is not in the hands of anybody to control that. Any product you see, say, for example, if you take any product from 1980 to 2021, if you look at the inflation, or if you look at the way the price has increased, and you compare it with cement price, you will find that it has not gone up that much. And another thing is that you will find that what is the percentage of cement that is being used in any construction for that matter. Say, for example, if I take 1,000 square feet building, the number of cement bags that goes into is around 400 bags, right? And 400 bags, even if you put, say, for example, 400 rupees or something like that, also you will find that it's around 1,60,000 rupees. But then 1,000 square feet house itself costs around, if you put a cost of 2,000 rupees per square feet, to 20 lakhs. So you calculate as a percentage of that, also you will find that this thing is not that high. So there are a number of construction materials that are also going into it. So that is one thing. And second thing is that cement as an industry also has to, have this dynamic. So you'll find that there are a lot of variables, lot of pressure, different kind of this thing that is playing. So based on that, the prices are also changing. So we also have to go in tune with that.
A politically correct answer, I would say.
Yes, sir. Any other questions, sir?
Yeah.
I think there was one more question which has come up. Which,
yes, just thank you for the question. The answer
yeah,
that you provided.
What is it? The question, how I'm not able to see the entire question which has been posted in the chat box. How the handle environmental issue apart from blended cement? Any plan? Okay. The thing is that see, blended cement, yes, as you rightly said, blended cement is one way of looking at how we mitigate the environmental problem. Apart from that, as I was telling, technology, in reducing emission is another way, because whenever we have this technology, when you reduce the emission into the atmosphere, and if you have the kind of the kind of equipment like ESPs, which can in fact avoid the finer particles to let into the atmosphere, if you are able to avoid that, I think that is one way. So adoption of latest technology as far as emission is concerned is one way of reducing the emissions and making it more environmental friendly. Another this thing is that the waste heat recovery, the heat can again be utilized. So the waste heat recovery, and I was talking about the renewable energy. Apart from blended cement, your renewable energy in terms of wind energy, which many of the, you will find that if you go through that, some of the groups are also having wind energy into that. So the renewable energy also plays a role as far as the environmental issue is concerned. So this is how the environmental issue is being handled from various perspectives, not only from the product perspective, but also from adoption of technology, adoption of renewable energy, adoption of alternate material for heating and things like that. So innovation plays a vital role as far as mitigating the environmental problem is concerned. And the Indian cement industry is doing taken a lot of initiatives. They have implemented, if you see, as far as mitigating the environment is concerned. So I hope I answered your question, because that is what we do apart from blended cement. I'm not able to hear you. You're muted.
Next question is from Amrit Kara.
Okay.
Traditionally, South Indian cement companies have always struggled to make inroads into other regions like Western, Northern, Eastern, etc.
Okay.
This dynamic seems to be changing slowly in time. But how soon do you see this happening, and what steps should companies from the South take to make further and quick inroads into the other regions, like North, etc.?
Very interesting question. I think already you would have seen in the Indian cement, if you look at many of the companies, they have been able to establish inroad into, say, for example, the eastern part of the country. And of course, it is happening very soon. And it has already happened. You'll find that many of the South Indian manufacturers are considered to be one of the major suppliers, say, for example, in East India. May not be up to the north, some of the companies, because you will find that it is basically a kind of industry where logistics plays a very important role. So you will find that, if it has to be economically viable, then you will have to have a balance between logistics as well as the pricing that is there. Because if you transport cement to a longer distance, it can. So the establishment of cement plant is also taking place. Because of that, you will find that many South Indian companies have been able to establish cement plants across the country. That is happening, and I'm sure that it is going to. Only time will say as to how fast. But a lot of things have already happened. And many of the South Indian cement brands are accepted in various other parts of the country also.
Do you see challenges in making yourself as a brand from South, or this kind of regional identities remain when you have tried to reach other parts?
Very interesting, because there is no, whenever you are going to supply to a cement, it is more of a professional than a regional identity. When you look at a customer, the customer, irrespective of whichever place of the country he is from, he is going to look at the quality, right? And when we talk about quality, it is not the quality per se, we are talking about the consistent quality. If suppose the project is for a period of 2 years, if you are able to supply a cement to me over the period of 2 years in consistent quality, I think regional identity doesn't matter there. What matters is that your ability to supply a consistent quality cement to me during the duration of the project. Does the cement suit with the chemical admixtures that is being used there? Does it satisfy my concrete requirement? I think that is what is defining, and even my experience also shows that many of the customers are looking at the quality perspective rather than this regional identity is not playing any role in that. So as long as you're able to make a quality product consistently over a period of time, I think there are a lot of opportunities. So that is not going to be a hurdle, whichever part of the country you are from.
Thank you, sir. The floor is open. Anyone wants to ask any question? Yeah, there is one more question. Is there sufficient cement demand in South India if most of or all companies operate at say 85% or more of the capacity utilization?
I think as I was telling, the development, the infrastructure development, everything would be affecting the whole country as such. So like say for example in South India itself, you will find that there are a number of projects which are coming up. So I don't think so there should be any problem in that. And another thing is that South Indian companies are also expanding to other places also, other regions. So if you look at the dynamics, I don't think so there should be any issues, because you look at every part of the infrastructure. As I was telling you, look at the smart cities, number of smart cities that is coming up, number of infrastructure that is coming up. It's happening even in the southern part of the country also. So that should not be a point of concern. Only thing is that we need to look at the time. How much time will it take place is something that is not within our hands. And I'm sure that this will happen. If not, it has to happen over a period of time. So that should not be a hurdle. Say, for example, you find the kind of development that is taking place in South India itself, the kind of dynamics, ready-mix concrete plants, which is a major consumer, major projects which are coming up. It should not be a hurdle. The government projects, I don't think so. It should be a hurdle at all.
The relationship between cement price and fuel price.
I think it's very difficult to have a correlation between two of them, because the price is not dependent only on the fuel price. You will find that there are a lot of this thing, raw material is there, limestone is there. Whenever you set up a cement plant, you have the royalty that has to be paid for the limestone itself. And then you have the freight, so exact correlation between a cement and fuel price is very difficult to make. Of course, fuel price does affect the price, the input cost, and it has a bearing on that. So exact correlation is very difficult to be made, because of the number of variables that is acting on the cement price.
Anyone else wanting to ask any question? I think there are no further questions. So thank you, Mr. Anil. It was a very good presentation. We all had a lot of insights into the way the cement industry is working, and the sharing of your knowledge that you have provided is going to be very useful for people who have joined through the Zoom, and the video is going to be available through YouTube in our website. So on a continuous basis, people can access this for their learning related to cement industry. Thank you very much for accepting our invitation and making a wonderful presentation.